engage and encourage as many people as possible to sign up for all the ways to get that information. So, so if we could, I think we just lost an update. I don't know if we've got an ended site, and we'll post the rest of this on the website. So if we could just go back and get someone from Zoom promoted to make a comment.
I'm glad you came, and I'll help you out.
Well,
And then you'll get
You guys are just a little box to get it.
I'll reach out.
anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you know the site's down. People are, the site's down, right?
We can't get it up. The broadcast ended. I got a gentleman promoted right now, John.
Michael, can you hear us?
I can, thank you.
All right, if you want to go ahead and provide your comment.
I appreciate that. I've been a resident for 3 years. I live in Manlius and Mallard's Landing. It's beautiful out here. I moved back from being in Los Angeles after 20 years. Really appreciate the feel and the community in Manlius and the surrounding vicinity. I work a lot I'm in the insurance industry, and one of my key kind of findings after assessing everything is historically we've kind of been a community, I feel like, that has kind of not wanted development and not wanted growth. I mean, you can see that in the population numbers. And the crossroads we're at right now is we're trying to squeeze as much blood out of the turnip as we can. We're not really growing the pie, so to speak. And I really feel like this community is going to be a recipient of many more folks that want to move here. And we need to think about investing similar to like Clay is, investing in, municipal services, running sewer lines, water lines in other areas that can be developed. People want to go to the schools in here. They want to move this area and have more people pay instead of just the same people pay more. So I'm not opposed to adding additional services or better buildings. I mean, we do insurance for buildings all throughout the country, large buildings, similar. The cost continues to go up and up and up. I can attest to that. California is building schools for 50, 80 million. They're building pools for 20 million. It's insane to think about it. Cost of everything is astronomical. I do think that we really need to think about being more of a pro-growth type environment where not only are we looking at taking money from folks and investing in what we currently have, but we're also investing in the future. And by investing in the future, turning some of the agricultural land into housing developments may not be something that everybody wants to hear, but I feel like the only way to get these projects built is to have more people pay for them. And if it's the same 30,000 people year over year paying for them, it's never going to happen. And you need to have some folks that coming in with open minds and open hearts about adding to the community. And I really feel like this community has so much to offer, and the ideas behind making this more of a focal point in the community than just being tucked away behind some buildings is important, to have it kind of a cornerstone of the community, whether it's Fayetteville, Manlius, what are the other towns, East Syracuse, that are part of town of Manlius, that are geared towards just the community members in itself. And you can see over the past couple of years, there has been kind of a resurgence of town pride. And I think that we're at a crossroads at this point to where the thought and consideration of how we construct this project, which sounds like it is needed, albeit the price point is pretty high, I think is more important than the price. And how we convey the project, how we convey it as a benefit to the residents, and how we convey it to, the children and their children 20 and 50 years from now that want to stay, that want to move back, that don't want to leave the area, or get pushed out because it's unaffordable. So the pie needs to get bigger. We need to have another, 1,000 or 3,000 homes added to the area. And we have to be less anti-growth. We need to be a little bit more pro-development, because in order to get these facilities, we have to have more people paying for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David Marnell, 123 Shady Lane, Fayetteville. What I tried to say in the beginning of the meeting is that I thought we had talked at the last meeting, when we had a big ruckus about the land underwater and the building, that a charrette would be welcomed in the community. And I think you asked me, how do you spell charrette, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, here we are, several months later. The community has never been invited to discuss this. Is that correct? My other question is, VIP, what information did you give VIP to develop this? Where did that information come from? Can you answer me?
In regards to what part of this?
Well, you said this is the cost of the proposal, this, and this. Where did they come up with that? If we didn't have any input from the community as to what.
So VIP met with our department heads.
Yeah.
To basically refresh our understanding from the 2018 feasibility study.
Sure.
I mean, they worked with where other municipal buildings have been built to understand those needs. And then they put together the space plan, the site plan, and a number of other pieces.
Without the consent of the community, right? Is that what
Well,
we're
no,
saying?
we had a vote and this board approved that contract
Right.
at a public meeting. And
Okay.
we asked them
Okay.
to take a look so that we can understand the cost.
Right.
And actually in the contract that was voted on in favor of by this board,
Mhm.
the goal stated was to
Sure.
place it, to come up with a number within July so that we can meet the deadline to get it on the ballot for November, as per the Board of Elections. And so when I got the feedback from the board that we weren't moving in that direction, I worked with our town staff who've been diligently working on this process. I reached out to Councilor Bollinger so we could find a way to meet those needs. And the intent, even though we're not voting on that resolution, the intent was we had VIP working on public materials so we could have public meetings, we could have educational moments. And that was, in my estimation, of the conversations we've had, was a very intensive process where we bring the public together. The board let me know that we wanted to move in a different direction. And so rather than cancel the meeting,
But we had this discussion months ago that the community requested to be a part of this, and a committee was supposed to be, and it never happened. Listen, I sat on this board for 16 years. I happen to know what I'm talking about. I really do. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, John, but it's ridiculous.
well, and
So
so
that's a lot of money. These people are complaining of the amount of money that's being spent on a project that we have no idea what it's about. Or what it's achieving. Again, where are we now? Where are we in 5 years? Where are we in 10 years?
and that's why.
And that's why we stopped the project.
And we are
Right.
trying to come up with a solution
Yeah.
to solve our facility
Yeah.
needs with public
Well, you
input.
better get I'm sorry, in all due respect, I think you all need to get your act together.
Yeah.
I really mean that sincerely. Ms. Bollinger,
Thank you.
you got it? Seriously. So these meetings behind closed doors and making these decisions have to stop. They do have to
The
stop.
decisions were made
Okay.
in public meetings.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you, enough is enough. The community is enraged by this. I don't know who's up for election in this point, but I would be really concerned.
I am up for election and I am concerned.
Yeah, you should have, you should.
Yeah, no, this has been frustrating for
Yeah.
all of you and I feel for you. It's your anger.
But how did that, I don't get this.
I don't either.
If we didn't come and say this, would have just gone through then?
No, I was gonna vote no. The rate
Right, well,
that
Can I,
was
can I
voting
make
no.
a statement? Because I've listened to several comments that people are saying the board. And I don't know if I was heard when I read my statement, and I don't know if some of the people who are sitting there at the table were heard. But I think to summarize what was said is that not all of the board members were privy to some of the meetings that occurred, some of the information that was received. When we received this and saw the price tag, again, like I said prior, we immediately said, we can't vote on this. That's before anybody from the public even reached out to us And then when the public started reaching out to us, it just affirmed our feelings on where we were with this project and what the price tag was. I did not know a price tag until shortly after last board meeting of $40 million. And when I found that out, I was a very leaning no. And as the days went on and I did my research, I was a resounding no. And I think some of the other counselors have said that as well. So I'm just resenting some of the, you're not on the same page. No. And if you were a board member for 16 years, I think you understand that you're not always going to be on the same page with your colleagues on the board. And that it's our responsibility to speak up against some projects that maybe aren't going the way it should go. So I think the
Well,
right
yeah,
thing
okay,
did
that-
happen. The right thing did
Mr.
happen,
Nesci-
in that we stopped
Mr.
this
Nesci,
vote
that's-
from going to the board, to going to the
That,
ballot
that's fine.
system.
Again, after 16 years, our board never went public with this. Never. We
No,
never.
I'm sorry, I
came
can't hear you.
public.
Never what?
In the 16 years that I served on this board, our board members never came to the public with a disagreement like this. Never. Never.
So you
So
had
that's what I wanted
disagreements
to say.
behind closed doors.
Of course we did. We discussed things, but we worked them out, and then we came and we were prepared. We were financially prepared.
But our residents
other
are telling us
question I
they
had-
want transparency today, and that
Yeah.
transparency is doing all of our business out in the public, knowing what we
Well,
disagree
that's
on.
not how we
and knowing-
feel. Well, that's not how we feel. The last thing I have, did you RFP this process? How did VIP get elected? Were there other,
Yeah,
who
Yeah.
were there?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I'd like a list, please. Could you send it to me?
Absolutely.
Okay. So please let me know when you decide to develop a charrette to the public. I'd like to be included.
Yeah,
And I
I
told you that before.
Yes, and I just want to reiterate, and I did kind of gloss over this, but when we heard from everyone last year about the Burdick Street property, the ball didn't really get rolling on, I'm trying to remember exactly the timeline, but we all had a discussion over the winter about moving forward with developing a new town hall. And now how do we move forward after the Burdick Street property fell through?
Yeah.
And so our conversation was public engagement. We're absolutely gonna do that. And the months went by and it never happened.
Yeah, well,
And that is frustrating, and I understand that you're all coming here and you're hearing it from us, but being along for the ride for the last several months, it was always, well, we're going to engage the public at this time, it's going to come, it's getting put together, and like someone else said, like, we're always working on it. And so a few weeks ago, when that never happened, and I'm staring at the middle of July, I started to say, we've run out of time. We can't put this on the ballot because we never engaged the public. And 3 months of public education on a ballot measure is not public engagement, and I put a stop to this.
so how much did this project cost? This VIP, how much did you pay VIP?
$51,000.
$51,000, and they had no community input at all on it? Just the board and the employees, I'm sorry. And I said, and the employees,
Ridiculous.
right? What's that?
It's ridiculous.
I
It
think
really
so.
is.
I mean, I certainly I would not run my business that way, home or personally or business wise or anywhere.
I completely agree with
Yeah.
you, Dave, and I'm going to take a stronger role in this moving forward. The supervisor was really managing this almost entirely on its own, and going
The
forward,
supervisor was managing this on his own?
the supervisor was mostly managing this on its own. I'm not saying he did it entirely by himself, but he took the lead on it, and he was the one focused on it, and going forward, the board is going to make sure that that is no longer the case.
So to be clear, every study that was moved forward was voted on by this board, and
Other counselors have been in meetings as well that the supervisor had been in too. So it's not just the supervisor
Well,
going rogue.
I
and taking this
understand,
on
I
his own.
understand. I just thank you for your time and I appreciate it.
Dave,
And,
I will reach out to you.
yeah, well, you know, if you do, you do. If you don't,
I
I'll be back.
absolutely will.
I certainly will be back again with everybody else in the community.
Yeah, I'll reach out, Dave, thank you. Thank you.
okay, next up.
How many more people plan to be here? You got two back there?
Can you guys just move up a little bit, just so we can kind of keep track of that? Okay, so just, we've got one speaker here, we've got two speakers here, last call.
Anybody on Zoom?
Don't have any hands, any hands on Zoom? So we've got 3 speakers left, so let's bear with it and
Maybe a 40. Go ahead.
Rita Navarado, East Myers Road, Kirkville, New York. When the one gentleman spoke, and he's left already, that it should be part of the village, there are boundaries. And I live in the town of Manlius, but the village doesn't do anything for me. I live on the furthest end of the town, out by Winona Golf Course. It's usually flooded and mosquitoes. We do have county water. We do not have septic. We do not have natural gas. I don't know why. Our assessment went up 25,000 just this year alone for a 2-bedroom without a basement. I wasn't even gonna waste my time with the assessor, but if you get a new one, let me tell you, I got all my ducks in a row. Because I've lived here all my life. My father was a dairy, I worked on my father's dairy farm, and also my mother's family was a dairy farm. I can go back 150 years, not that I was alive then, but I know what used to be. Like the Manoa Elementary in Canterbury Woods was built on a swamp. That was back in the early 50s, 60s. I was around then. And my father worked for the town of Manlius Highway Department after we sold our farm. So I understand the breaking points of how, like one gentleman said, we'll go to the villages. But where are the police? If their office is so in disrepair and everything, Jason Casellia, the chief of police, was in my 2nd grade religion class. He knows me personally. But they can't reach my house on East Myers Road from Manlius in less than, 15 minutes, because they got the sirens going. But they do have a substation in Manoa. I don't know about Fayetteville, but that's when they broke. There's one in Fayetteville, but you know, it is true that they do need one spot. But as far as not having to house them, they take them, they only book them, and they take them downtown. They're not staying in Manlius for very long. So that's another bad argument. So I just like our boys, and I used to come to these meetings regularly. Dave Marnell will tell you, I came to all of them. But I had a cancer diagnosis. And when you have a health problem, and then you get older, other things take precedence. But this really took precedence tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna sign this list for you. Right there.
Hey everyone, I'm Matthew Denton, town Manlius resident. I have remarks, but I think most of it's been covered actually by a lot of the residents here. But there are a few things I think we all need to agree on going forward. And I would really appreciate if the board stopped using the word misinformation. I've seen that a lot in social and in posts stating you're misinforming others. Someone's opinion is not misinformation. Okay?
You speak up.
Sorry, yeah. Someone's opinion is not misinformation. You're sharing your feelings, you're sharing your thoughts. What is misinformation is continually calling this project a $40 million project. It's a $40 million bond. A 20-year bond with current rates are actually somewhere up with 5% from a coupon rate, 5% from municipalities. That's $23 additional million over 20 years. If this cost is accurate, we as a community are paying $63 million. You divide that by 20, that's over $3 million increase in our budget for every year for 20 years. On top of that, the board last year, or was it earlier this year, agreed to the highway department improvements, $5 million, up to $5 million bond. I think that one was planned for a 10-year, but that too has interest rates. It's 6.5. I don't know the numbers off my head. But that's $670,000 for 10 years. You know, we can't take on this level of debt with our community. We're already seeing issues with people on fixed incomes, issues where myself, like I could not afford to buy my house. I bought it 8 years ago. I couldn't buy it today. Our prices are so inflated here that we are literally pricing people out. And so if price of progress, that word, is to literally move the community out to replace it with people with more money, that's not a community. I mean, what are we doing? What are we trying to do? So I just want to read a few other things that I have here, because I kind of covered it all, or everyone else that came covered it all. But I do want to say that I am deeply concerned by this VIP study that was done, that you guys put up this past week for the $40 million price tag. We don't need a facility for Metropolis. We're not a city. You know, we deal with traffic infractions, civil disputes. Our courtroom is used 4 times a month. We don't hold jury trials. We don't need a jury room. We don't need interviewer lawyer room.
I'm just gonna pause.
No, there
We
are
do have
recommendations.
jury trials.
Yes, we had one in
You
the
are-
last 3 years.
Right now, you are saying things that are, we have the president of the PBA here. And
Well, thank you for correcting me, but we don't have them very often.
just to be clear,
Yes,
just wanted to make sure we were
that's perfectly fine.
keeping everything kind of.
We had one in the last 3 years, jury trial.
I think we've had a few this
Lot more
year.
than traffic, we have had a homicide this year.
Do we hold it in the court?
What's that?
Do we hold it in the court?
No, you're saying the only thing the town of Manlius Police Department does is traffic civil disputes?
I was
You
talking
are
about the court, but
grossly
please continue.
misinformed. We have larceny, grand larcenies, identity thefts, we do our own investigations, we handle everything that a city department would do, we do it better.
Well, thank you for that. But I, like, so,
And if you listen to the people in this community, and I appreciate their support, along with board support, we do things, we are CLEA accredited, we are New York State accredited. We as a department go above and beyond to provide a police service that exceeds what the citizens expect.
and I appreciate that.
And it's far, far more than just writing a couple of tickets and handling neighbor dispute.
Yes, I understand that. So, but I want to talk about also not just what you do, because you are a police force and you cover the whole spectrum of everything, just like our county police does, just like our state police does. What I'm saying is this, I'm talking about this facility report. Okay? And I do not understand why we would have a jury room that would sit empty. That is my point.
We don't have a jury room in the police department.
I know, I'm talking about this facility plan that they
So
did,
to
which
be
is
clear, we
for
have to have
everything.
a jury room, because that's a state requirement. and we-
Recommendation.
No, that is a requirement. We are out of compliance. This is currently our jury room.
I understand
And-
this, but look, I want you to listen though, there's a difference between recommendations and requirements, and there's a difference too between grandfathered in, because it's not needed in our community, versus trying to meet a standard that doesn't apply to our community. So there is a whole spectrum of what we can do here. And this report, as you all stated, was done in talking to the departments to find out what they need. But there was no community input, and there is no understanding from us, the community, as to why. Why should we have a separate jury room? Why do we need an individual workspace for every department? Why aren't we sharing space? Why is the boardroom and courtroom separate spaces? Why aren't they a shared space? They are meeting rooms. Why do we need to have separate lawyer rooms when there are down the hall in the thing two public meeting rooms? There's a lot of waste. The blueprint is government waste. That's what you've shown us is here's everything under the sun, itemized, separated, and going to be unused for the majority of the time. We don't need that. We need something that fits our needs as a community. We need something that is where the spaces are actively used, like having mobile spaces, you guys brought it up at the beginning, is a bad thing, it's a good thing. We should have spaces that can transform their use based on the needs. So I just wanted to really state that I think that report, the last one that we have seen here, that with the 40 million price tag that we're bonding for, that would be bonded for, that's the price of the bond, not the actual price of the project. We're talking upwards $70 million. It's a blueprint for government waste. And I think we need to really reset and go back to the drawing board on
That's
where we want
exactly
to
what
go.
this meeting is for. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, my name is Colin Bernie. I live in the village of Manoa. Quick question for you. Have you considered remodeling the police department? The police department is with this.
So previously, there had been some conversations with the village. At the time, it wasn't really something that made a lot of sense. It sounds like there's some potential there, and that's where this whole process is to, apparently talk village and town consolidation, talk about, shared services, all of these things. So it was not necessarily an option on the table, but if the new village mayor is willing to have that conversation, we should be doing that.
Okay, and I guess it's the reason why you guys wanna upgrade because isn't our town getting bigger per se, population wise? With Micron coming, people are gonna be moving here, you guys believe that we're gonna need a
The
bigger organization?
comprehensive plan calls for a significant amount of housing and commercial industry to be added. We do have record projects slated. We've been taking in the largest permitting fees. We actually have to reform our permitting fees to meet the size of projects that we haven't seen in a very long time. And yes, as of right now, our planning department is trying to grow and we've run out of space for them and simply don't have another office for anyone.
Okay, I believe this was already answered. How much does it cost to rent the PD at the moment?
The ballpark's about $100,000 a year.
Do you know how much it was back in 1985 when they merged? Just out of curiosity, is it gonna be like increasing? Do you know?
The last couple leases we've had have been about a 3% per year.
2009 was 88,000, so it's gotta go up, I mean.
Yeah, the village will, cover their costs and inflation, it'll go up.
Okay, that answers my questions.
Thank you. Okay.
Taking into consideration on that new building proposal, the growth of the town.
That
You
was
don't
part
wanna outgrow that in 10 years.
That was part of the consideration that
Okay.
VIP looked at, yes.
But won't there be automation where the staffing will start shrinking?
The problem is, the way that town hall operates is based on state law. And we are always looking, I mean, we're actively looking at more technologies to reduce overhead of staff, to make communication easier, make the website better, make it so we can take in digital fees and things like that. So we're always looking at that. But it's really hard to predict because the statutory requirements of what we do here, generally speaking, does involve people that have some certifications, a notary, they're appointed, they're elected to make those decisions. Town government is very much people focused. It's very much the employees that are in this building that are making it happen. So,
You do have one, yes.
okay, under the buzzer, and this will be our last comment, and again, takeaways from this meeting, if you're not signed up for the agendas, please do. Our next meetings are August 13th and the 27th. My hope is to have this topic of discussion on there for the board at each of those meetings, so that we can kind of keep the public coming along with us, and then there eventually will be a public hearing on the plan that it's gonna be compiled based on all the feedback we've had tonight. Okay.
Should be there.
Just real quick, I was curious about that piece of paper that Caitlin put out, where you can become a part of that committee that talks through this a little bit more. So for the online attendees, should we just put it in our?
If you'd like to send me an email, it's all over the internet, but it's kcreasel@townofmanlius.org, and that's KKRIESL@townofmanlius.org. If you email me, I will add you to the list, and I'm gonna email everyone tomorrow. I'm gonna type this up, get an email out first thing tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Any final comments from the board?
I am just so frustrated, and I feel everyone else's frustration, and I'm exhausted, and I'm sure you're all exhausted, so I just wanna thank everyone for coming and for your feedback. It's a tough job, but we're here to listen, and hopefully this process will, I will assure you this process will be better moving forward. So thank you for all your feedback and for everyone